you FaZe, our first look at the previous champions of LAN here at the Global Invitational, going up against the new look Sentinels, which we have already seen, and my goodness me, they impressed. I was really, really impressed with this team. I think some of the worries were about the slow and, you know, steady kind of pace that they might have going up against the aggressive quadrant, and actually it worked pretty damn well. So FaZe, they certainly will have their work cut out for them, especially on day one, because as we know, FaZe like to have a bit of a slow, steady day one. It happens a lot. Kind of happened a little bit to Space Station, but they managed to keep it together.
And I also think, too, it's important to note here for Sentinels and for Lethal as well, is that, like, any other player in that situation, you're part of one of the best teams, you know, in the game, and then you end up, you know, being on the bad end of it. Any player would not have faulted them for just kind of like taking a break, resting, whatever, but not Lethal. He actually put this team together, forged this roster alongside. You got some weapons on this team. I mean, we were talking a lot about TJ, but let's be honest here, man. Falcade he had one hell of a year last year. I expect him to really just continue to be like that real anchor for this team. And then let's not forget about Spartan. Right, Spartan, he had, what a way to end that quadrant game, and to do it in a very emphatic fashion, the way that Spartan only knows how to do it. You know that these guys are going to be playing on that stage with a lot of emotion, and sometimes that could be the difference maker in these close series.
I would say in that series against Quadrant earlier, we saw some of the best of Falcade that we've seen. We've seen some of the best of Spartan that we've seen all year. The big question mark for me right now is how can Bubudubu step up in the Slays department? He traditionally does not slack this far in the Slays department. It has been a tough year for this kid statistically, and if they want to beat a team like FaZe, stats aren't everything, but you're going to have to compete statistically against FaZe.
Now, but I do think Bubu is capable of popping off.
Oh,
Look at the end of that live fire game, that Slayer. He clutched up so hard for his team. That's the type of aggression, heads-up play that you need to see from Bubu coming across the board pretty much the entire time during the series.
As we roll in then, Imperium CTF is going to be game number 1. Dan, tell me something about it.
The perfect way to start this series off for Sentinels. They like to play slow, they like to play methodical. They can pick apart this FaZe roster. We'll have to see whether they can get the ball rolling nicely here.
And group of death time then. Shields up, weapons hot, we're underway, on board with the Iceman Frosty.
I'm so excited as well to see who is going to put that sniper rifle in their hands on both sides, but Frosty says, you know what, Overshield is going to be my main priority. Rocket, someone else get the job done, and you can already see Spartan has the sniper rifle, has a shot, and we've already got a flag moving.
But does so unsuccessfully.
And I am glad you pointed out that this is one of FaZe's weaker game types, especially at LAN. It's probably their weakest CTF game mode, but we'll have to see whether they've been working on it. Spartan doesn't look like he has slowed down at all from that quadrant series.
Spartan, who let the dogs out? Woof woof, Spartan is on a tear already, taking down 3 respectfully. Spartan tries to get away from the pink mist, Royal 2. A couple of shots go down, 1v1 will connect for the side of Spartan. Rockets go down as well. Both have been emptied. Spartan's picked up flag, scooped it up, and it's on the move.
Bubu, really important off spawn to make sure he's listening to those call-outs, and not only was it the Rockets, but also the Overshield as well for FaZe. A perfect opportunity to get this flag moving, but Sentinels are doing very well on the defensive. They are making sure this is awkward every single time FaZe push up, and FaZe haven't been able to get that all 4 down to properly set up.
Will they catch glimpses of one another? And who will be able to find that all-important headshot? We're about to find that fight very soon. Renegade gets towards green box, and you can see Spartan's well aware of this, tries to clear him out, body shot onto Renegade. Snakebite does fire a shot, but it's in anger, does not connect, does not find a home. And now Spartan knows exactly where he's positioned.
Really got to make sure you're not leaving yourself exposed from some of those angles, and if you are a sniper, you know where to be standing, but also where your opposition is likely to be standing. There's only a certain amount of angles you can take to try and get your best position so you can hit those shots, and Spartan well aware of it. He's making sure he's not visible from the opposition's needles. But now he's going to have a little peek, and he does manage to connect, and Spartan will win that engagement. Now this could lead into attack for the Sentinels. It's a 4-2. Spartan is playing out of his skin this event.
If Spartan can continue playing like this, Sentinels will be a problem for anybody as he finds yet another face, and flag is on the move. Falcade has got it all the way out to front base. And Spartan, you can see he wants to find a few more faces.
Spartan looks like a different beast. He's still on a tear. He's still going. Remember, it was a killing frenzy in the previous series. It's just a killing spree for now, but it meant 3 were down on the side of FaZe. Spartan still holding his ground, still making sure this flag can keep moving.
Spartan's absolutely laser here, not backing down, not willing to give up the inch. And the flag will get home. Sentinels take the lead. Rockets in 4. Frosty has his eyes on them. Spartan keeps firing a couple of heat wave shots, gets a repulsor play of his own. The force is used. Spartan in a 1v1. Spartan comes out on top. Expert play from the veteran as he then scoops up and cleans out his base. Royal 2 in a 1v1 and Lethal comes out on top. He's one of the greatest of all time for a bloody reason.
And it's a 1v1 on the map. 3 members down on both sides, but both members retreat, but it's Falcated who gets the final damage onto Frosty. Remember, 3 of this 4 of the Sentinels roster back in MCC days, they were Mantra. They won an event in Texas. You add Lethal to the fray, you add one of the most experienced, one of the best players Halo has ever seen, and this Sentinels roster is the real deal. And I think they're proving that not only in the previous series against Quadrant, but right here, right now, against the current champions FaZe.
It was 3 dead for a moment. Spartan has his hands on yet another flag. Can Snakebite stop this? Has got to find the face, but can't do so. Plays the sniper rifle instead, and Frosty off the respawn over towards the Mangler area. As Spartan gets this one forward with the help of the repulsor, but it's stopped just a little short of the halfway line.
Under the bridge, but it looks like Boomin might be able to get a big touch, and Falcated with the sniper as cover can at least do some damage. This is going to be a really hard flag that Sentinels is going to have to work for here, because FaZe can now position themselves in many angles with grenades, but Falcated does his best to keep this one alive. Also, probably one of the best decisions was Snakebite throwing that sniper rifle off the map when he saw Spartan coming his way, especially with the shots that Spartan's been hitting. Even Boo Boo was hitting shots previously in the series, so I'm not exactly surprised that he's now got his hands on the sniper rifle as well.
Royal 2, last man standing, will try and be an influence on the Rockets. All 4 dead. Power weapons will shift over to Sentinels again. FaZe are in big trouble here, folks.
Yeah, this is a real struggle for FaZe at the moment. Sentinels, every single time FaZe try and push up, they're there. They're waiting round the corner, just an ambush time after time. And now they've got the rocket to work with. Boo Boo just needs to be careful he doesn't get taken down here. Thankfully, he manages to back off.
Repulsor play, back to top tower. He has them on strings here. FaZe are chasing shadows, and Lethal locks in yet another kill, and Boo Boo Doo Boo has flag on the move.
Lethal tries to hold his ground. Flag is going under bridge again, but this time not enough damage is taken as Boo Boo fumbles a little bit. He should be just able to get away and have the support, but that could be the difference in getting this flag or not. But the repulsor may have helped everything. Now FaZe need to be pushing quickly. They can't afford for this second flag to go in.
Flag down on the cuts, 3 dead for Sentinels. Lethal last man standing. Is he around to get the touch? He's over towards top tower. He has to give this one up and just watch it for a moment. Boo Boo Doo Boo gets absolutely lit up from spawn.
Sen are going to try and overextend, send someone round to stop this flag, but are they going to be there? That's the real question, because it looks like FaZe have dealt very well with the spawners.
Frost is in big trouble. Royal 2's picked up the snipe, but the help is not on hand. A couple of warning shots go down. Boo Boo Doo Boo skipped up and scooped up his own snipe rifle. Lethal's on the flag. Can he get the return? He's dipsying, he's doodling, and he gets the flag. No, he doesn't. It's got a touch on it, and an also vital touch from the General and Snakebite.
That is a massive touch. Now Boo Boo's going to watch on. Renegade should get taken down here, will get taken down, and FaZe, they're going to be pummeling themselves towards this flag, but Sen will have eyes on it. This is not a guaranteed cap. This is going to be a very difficult cap, but it does look like Frosty's got in a position to at least touch it, and Royal 2's got the sniper rifle. That's massive for FaZe.
Boo Boo Doo Boo backs away, almost giving this one up. Frosty will get the extra touch and will move it over towards Bior, but gets taken down. Boo Boo Doo Boo finds a face, but we're all tied up. They've given a lot to secure that cap. We're all tied up.
The first one up. Sen on not in a position to run the flag, though, because Lethal went down. That was a massive trade from FaZe in the base.
Boo Boo screaming who else wants it. He's got a trade on Frosty as he connects again. Falcated with rockets, fires one onto Snakebite. And FaZe Clan are in massive trouble.
Well, here comes the Sentinels push. Are they going to try and run this under bridge again? They've tried twice, it hasn't worked. This time they say, no, let's go Needles. Let's make sure we get these spawns down. Rocket's not going to connect from Falcated. Needs to win this engagement, but Frosty's still alive.
Frosty backs away, but not for long. Falcated gets one.
Spawn is huge, but that flag is still moving. And Sentinels are going to find themselves 2-1 up here with 1:20 on the clock. FaZe were not able to get out of spawn. FaZe were not able to stop that flag from crossing over no man's land. For them, and Snakebite's already got this to cut. It looks like this is going to be tied up. What a game we start here with FaZe versus Sentinels 2-2, and we're going into OT.
All tied up then. Sniper rifle's about to pop. 2 members down for Sentinels as we head towards overtime. Time ticks down. We will not see a flag pull. FaZe were quite happy to play defense and go for the reset. 2-2, all tied up here.
An amazing start to this series, and it will mean that we'll get a first flag cap wins restart between these two juggernauts. And that man on your screen, what a passage of play he had during the start of it. Wasn't seeming to miss. Seems like a different beast as Spartan. I mean, top 12 finish for all of these players. I mean, it's not where we would have expected them to be, and I think that it does a lot for your mentality going into the next event of, are you going to be fight or flight?
Clutch spoke about it on the desk. When you play with fire long enough, it's only a matter of time before you get burned. And Sentinels have got the flamethrower out here and trying to cook. But Renegade is soaring forward. It's golden cap. Next cap wins.
Continuing to slay. They want to get this flag moving, and Snakebite says, okay, I guess I can do that job. They have lost Renegade, though, so they need to be careful. Maybe it's a toss-up to Needles to get that protection.
They still have numbers advantage for now. Frosty elsewhere is just putting down absolute damage as all 4 of Sentinels members go down. And almost completely off the rip, it's as easy as pie, and FaZe Clan punch home the golden cap and take the series leads.
And I think it just comes down to experience as a team. And it's just one of those ones where I think FaZe were a little bit more well-drilled from the rip on Imperium CTF, and Sentinels unfortunately got caught off guard a little bit. And it is going to be frustrating because that was a long old first match where you put so much into it and you just have to move on, forget about it, and just accept the loss there and start to think about match number 2.
This Slayer could be the difference maker in the series, Dan, particularly for Sentinels if they're to claim it.
I'm just glad we got another sniper rifle on the map because it seemed like nobody was missing.
4 fresh shots find a home. Spartan has the assault rifle sliding and soaring and gets yet another kill. Over towards green. Information coming. They're all towards house, and you can see trying to play this one slow. Out comes Snakebite, finds a home. Sniper rifle is vicious as it completely shreds the shields of one. Almost finds a home onto Frosty, but he'll be counting his lucky stars that he got away with his life there. He is ultimately taken care of, though. Royal 2 and Renegade are trying to combine here, but Booba Doobu will secure one onto Renegade. Assault rifle and repulsor play sends Royal 2 back to the depths. 4-kill game here. Sentinels hold the lead. Snakebite's in massive trouble as Boo Boo gets yet another one and tries to dip away for now.
In trouble, but I mean, then there comes the cavalry. Everyone else comes to back him up, but Lethal still alive and will take down Frosty in the end. Fantastic push from Sentinels, just making sure that that sniper was not easily mounted on top of the tower. So many times you've seen players just pop off from that position, but Sentinels didn't want to allow it to happen, and now they've got all the goodies. They've got Heatwave as well. Lethal does connect. Overshield is going to be popping. Is there any eyes? It's going to be plenty of eyes. Lethal has the perfect way to look upon this Overshield, and he'll be able to maybe help Falcated get hold of this one.
Falcated scoops it up. You can see Falcated immediately tries to put pressure on Renegade here, not letting him get away for free. A couple of melees go down, and somehow, someway, Falcated survives, and Renegade hits the respawn screen.
Just trying to dodge all of these grenades, as well as Royal 2 caught unaware. Snakebite over towards Nest, needs help but doesn't get it.
With any of that messing, so backs away towards house instead. Touch tight with his teammate Snakebite. Long-time teammates, these two come through the ranks together. Won many championships. It's both members of Sentinels make it 3 dead. They all ran into a blender at the same time. If we go down together as Lethal makes it 4, all 4 in the respawn screen.
A lot of responsibility for Renegade to make sure he hits that shot if Sen do go for it, but FaZe the ones who have pressed up. They've gone ahead of it, and Sen say, you know what, maybe it's a bit of bait. We all fly over top middle, try and take down this sniper. But Renegade, through the smoke, through the mist, takes down Lethal.
Hits the respawn screen once more, and they really have extended this lead. It was so close in the mid-game, but FaZe Clan finding their feet towards the end.
And as soon as FaZe have the player advantage, now they're starting to try and press that. They're trying to surround and pinch the Sentinels roster. They're going to be running with their tails between their legs through bottom middle, but it's going to be a heavy chase from Snakebite and Royal 2. Ring around the rosies, but eventually you've got to be able to take a fight here if you're Sentinels, because you're 8 kills down, 2 minutes 35 on the clock. You have to start playing a little bit quicker.
FaZe were in hot pursuit. It's been trades in the kill feed though. 2 down for Sentinels, make it 3. Boo Boo Doobu hits a lovely bank grenade on the Snakebite, but Renegade absolutely cooks Lethal for 1. And that's a 10-kill advantage. It's now or never then. Information has got to come for Lethal. Snakebite's over towards back tower. Boo Boo Doobu is going to be in a 1v1. Has Lethal there if he needs him to bait and switch. Needs him desperately here and now. Lethal slides forward. Snakebite's in massive trouble. Kill will be confirmed.
Really well played there from Lethal. We knew full well there was going to be a plasma pistol potentially around that corner. 7-kill game, 1 minute 30. Surely the clock is going to be the main enemy of Sentinels now, but they're starting to pick up the pace. Spartan takes a fight with Renegade. Will get the kill. Double kill now for Lethal. It's a 7-kill game still. Frosty at green is going to go down, but the trades are massive for FaZe. It may have been a triple, but I don't think it's going to be enough because still the clock is going to be against them. 3 more kills required for FaZe.
May still not have the time required to complete this comeback as FaZe only need one more kill, and it gets locked in. FaZe double their series advantage.
As a backup in case we fail with this push.
FaZe just in that, towards that end game, they seemed a lot more settled, a lot more structured. I mean, we've seen Sentinels trying to lay those traps, trying to slow things down, but FaZe had the answer every single time.
Yeah, there was the one period of play where I think it was a minute and a half we didn't have a kill, where Sentinels were thinking about what they should do, how they should set up for the next overshield. In the end, they tried to use the overshield as bait, hoped that maybe FaZe would be out of position. They all flooded top middle, but the sniper rifle was there and waiting, along with the grenades of the rest of the team. And I think that was when the game was lost. That's really when FaZe started to take that control. And unfortunately, Sen were never able to get back into it. And even when they did start to look like maybe they could creep back into the game, their eyes would just go to the bottom of the screen. They would see how much time was left, and they had to start picking up the pace. It was too late.
Something I actually want to commend Sentinels is how good they've looked considering how little practice they've had. This team is only together 3 weeks, and they were going toe-to-toe with the champions of the last tournament.
It was something I brought up in the pre-show today, that we have a clear gap between the top 3 teams and the rest of everyone else who's competing, but that gap maybe closed this event, and the next event, when there's more practice for these squads who have had it on LAN, suddenly that gap might be even smaller. Here's the King of the Hill stats between these two teams from the Global Invitational. Sentinels, they only played it once. They only needed to win it once, but for FaZe, they only lost 1 King of the Hill throughout the entire tournament. So we'll have to see whether maybe Sentinels can try and defy those odds and take FaZe down on one of their better maps and modes. For Sentinels as well, but this pool has been nuts, and we knew it was going to be. But it's 2-0 at the moment to FaZe as we head over to Streets for King of the Hill. As I mentioned, FaZe did beat Sentinels in scrims on this map and mode, but that's where you practice everything. Now you've got to put that practice into competition.
And we're on board in Game 3 with Royal 2.
It's a rocket grab as well for FaZe. Very comfortable rocket grab, I will say. Snakebite wasn't even weak, as now he wants to put these rockets to use. No one stepped in the hill just yet, and now you start to think about it with 1 death. Didn't even need the rocket in the end, as Spartan was backed off. Spartan will just survive and make sure he keeps hold of any weapon that he might find himself using. And I think that FaZe can get a good amount of time here. They just need to keep eyes on Pink Street and don't allow an easy push to come through bottom middle.
Falcate looking to join him. Eyes trained towards back tower here. Royal 2 threatens to step out, but Jiggle peeking for now. That red gun will find a home and knock Royal 2 down to no shield. Frosty's in big trouble as yet another kill secured. And Sentinels have fully loaded up and towards C, and Falcate steps out. And could that be an influence on spawns here?
Yeah, Falcate got very aggressive pushing up, but maybe he got word that they had the chance to do so. Renegade is being a little bit of a nuisance at the moment in station as well. Rockets were picked up, and that might have been another decision-making prospect that was there to get Falcate up as far as possible so you could grab those rockets.
Can Falcate secure the point here for Sentinels? Can he tie up the game?
Well, Lethal did really well to get out, get those rockets, get the rocket out of the chamber, and then make sure he stayed alive, as Sentinels will tie this game up. There's still life in this series and in this map just yet. 2 minutes and 26 on the clock. Yeah, again, it's Sentinels just getting stuck in tram, and they haven't been able to escape because FaZe are watching all the angles. The push finally comes out, but I don't think it's going to be enough to stop the hill, or will it? Falcate gets double, and Frosty has to back off, so there is still a chance for Sentinels. It's a long way to go, and bottom middle is one of the harder hills to try and secure, especially in one go. But Frosty does very well just to survive while his teammates come off spawn, so now they can start to think about taking a challenge for it.
Not only survive, but keep Sentinels a little bit back, a little bit on the back foot as Rockets are scooped up and manages to secure the hill somehow, some way. FaZe Clan not only take the lead, but get the Rockets the boot.
Frosty just needs to wait, be patient, make sure Arcade isn't too easily gathered by Sen, because now they can start to work on this next hill. PD Square as well, they'll be residing.
That's 45 seconds, and FaZe Clan not happy with playing time, looking to secure the hill here and now.
Well, they're so close to getting it. They say, well, we don't need to play time. They're going to be spawning over towards either Tram or over on Arcade, and 3-1. You think surely this series is going to be wrapped up. Sentinels now very much firmly pinned against this wall by FaZe.
FaZe firmly have their foot on the necks of Sentinels here. What have they got? Double kill for Lethal will help the cause. They've got to control this hill. There's still time, folks.
Yeah, this has to be a flawless hill now from Sentinels. Give yourself enough time to set up for the next one after you gather it. It's whether FaZe just accept the loss on this one and say, if we move towards the next hill ourselves, we can make this near impossible for Sentinels, and we'll give them the second hill because we have that 2-hill cushion right now, as FaZe will make their way over towards tower. Lethal doing very well to dodge, dip, and dive.
Running out of time, Sentinels have got to go, but the kills keep going in FaZe Clan's favor.
It's 3 versus 3 on the map. Someone's got to head towards the hill. It's a good engagement.
Oh!
Takes down Lethal with the bandit. Falcated will rescue the pieces, but is anyone in the hill? No, at the moment it's FaZe who still hold it.
Only seconds remain then. And FaZe Clan step out once more. Happy to milk the final moments and take this series 3-0 as Spartan desperately jumps in, but to no avail. Clean sweep for FaZe Clan, 3-0.
FaZe Clan carry on from where they left off in Dallas. Texas seems to be good to them, but it is going to be FaZe just making sure they stay on track to try and go back-to-back in Texas.
That is the perfect test for FaZe Clan in their first game of the group, first game of the tournament. Making sure they keep FaZe honest. Sentinels played that one so well, and again, it just comes down to time being able to mesh together as a team.
And as for Sentinels, of course, they've now played both teams in their pool. They have to wait for an open bracket team to come before they can try and finish 2-1 in the pool. And for Sentinels, they just need to now hope that FaZe do the same thing against Quadrant, so there isn't some sort of crazy tie where you have to think about who's going to be going through. But I think that FaZe have showed that they mean business. Looking like they want this one, and you could certainly feel the hunger and the desire from this roster.
Now, PJ, going into this series, the one really, I guess, kind of struggle I saw here was kind of a little bit of slow start there to kick it off, okay? Were you guys really kind of expecting that from them, and how did y'all really turn that around going into that second half of that pit flag?
Yeah, we fully expected it. We come out slow. It's not really a secret. They're a great team, and especially on pit flag, it's one of their best. So to go toe-to-toe with how slow we kind of started, we just felt really good that we can bring it to an overtime. So just had to feel out the game and go as long as we could.
Yeah, I don't really feel like this was a cold start by any means. I think they played a team that just went through a best-of-5 earlier today. A team that was very warmed up, a team that left Spartan the dog off a killing frenzy in that Game 5. Well, he picked it up in that pit CTF.
Oh, he did.
Came one of the series. He was popping off, getting some headshots, trying to get the flag moving as well. And that's something that's very hard to try and weather that storm, right? That's the first real punch that I was talking about. The Sentinels were going to be able to throw at FaZe. Spartan hit one hell of a jab right there, but not enough to rock FaZe. FaZe withstood that kind of pressure, and as you heard Snakebite say it in the interview, they had a little bit of time where they had to feel out the level of the game and like how to meticulously go about taking down the Sentinels roster in each one of these games, honestly. But it always felt like FaZe were in control, and I think that personally is what I walk away from watching this series is although Sentinels, I believe, are still very strong, especially after their series against Quadrant, FaZe Clan never looked like they were in a worrisome position. They always had like an ace in the hole. Someone always stepped up and made a play when they needed.